Today's video is sponsored by iTrade.gg. It's an online trading platform for Rust skins, and not only is its commission rate 8% lower than Steam, but if you add the name to your Steam account you can get an even lower commission rate. Making your trades really easy. All you need to do is search for the skins in your inventory and then search in the bot's inventory. Any extra currency will be stored in your account and you can use this later. You'll need the Steam app to complete the trade, and make sure you've had it downloaded for at least 7 days before. If you use the link in the description or enter code Tomorrow77 on the referral program, you'll get a free 10 cents and you'll be supporting me. If you go to the daily rewards page, you can get up to 6 cents every single day by simply making the Steam group your primary group, changing your Steam avatar, and also changing your nickname to include iTrade.gg. Your free coins will appear in your inventory and you can use these in future trades. Thank you very much to iTrade.gg for sponsoring this video. Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be continuing with my Monument Guide series. If you haven't seen part 1, then I highly recommend you go see that now. The main reason you should see that one first is because I also have general info in that video, and I show you how to get green cards and go over the early game monuments, and these will transition into the ones that we'll be talking about now. In today's video I'll be going over these tier 2 monuments here. I'll be going over loot spawns, puzzles, and any other tips that I have specifically regarding towards these monuments. Water treatment is a great monument because it has access to a lot of crates, a red card, and you don't need much radiation protection to get to most of the crates. There's 3 main buildings you should worry about when looting this monument: the central building, the parkour tower on the left, and the recycler building. If you make your way to the central building, hold E to turn on the manual override and open up the doors. Inside you'll find a bunch of crates on the first floor. If you make your way up to the second floor, this is where you would input the fuse and flick the switch in order to do the blue card puzzle. Do note that this switch is a timer, so you need to be quick when running over to swipe your blue card. Inside here you'll find a bunch of crates, all of which can be military or standard, and that's the same for pretty much all the crates in this monument. You'll find a red card on the desk and a switch right next to it. If you flick this switch, it'll allow you to open up the door with a button, but if you're quick enough the door will stay open anyway. Similar to Sewer Branch, there's a parkour tower with crates on the top and some on the bottom. There's also med crates on the bottom. There's quite a few metal platforms that look like this, and you can find crates on them all throughout the monument. When you exit the manual override building, instead of turning left, if you go right, there's a crate tucked away here. There's also 2 crates located at the top of the water tower at the very top of the monument. I showed it earlier, but don't forget about this crate left of the override building. In the sewer behind the manual override building is a crate spawn. And if you face the recycler building and head down this tunnel here, make sure to bring a light source and there'll be a crate to your right. Recycler building's located over here and it's just up the stairs on the second floor. There's 2 refineries, one tucked away down here, and at the front of a recycler building there's a little hole where one's hidden away underground. You can get around pretty much the whole of water treatment with 0 radiation protection. There's only 2 spots where you need protection. When you're done with the puzzle, you need to flick the switch in order to open up the door. Standing next to this switch will give you a lot of rads. You need 25% rad protection in order to stand next to it, but if you're quick enough you can usually get away with a lot less rads if you just flick it quickly. The other location is underneath the parkour tower. It's exactly the same, you'll need 25 rad protection in order to not get any rads. However, if you have anything slightly under, you should be able to get in with only getting a few. Up next is Airfield, actually one of my favourite monuments because the puzzle is really compact and easy to do. The radiation rule is really simple for this monument, you only need 10 to enter and that's pretty much it. Around the monument you'll find 5 towers, each of which have a crate at the top. On one side you'll find 3 hangars, inside of which you'll find a bunch of crates, and the middle one has a recycler. Inside of the main central building you'll find a recycler, refinery, repair table, research table, and a bunch of other crate spawns. The fuse room is located at the far corner closest to the garage side. Enter the first fuse and flick the switch. Keep in mind that you need 2 fuses, a green card and a blue card to do this puzzle. It's also timed, so be quick. Exit on the garage side and run towards the transformers. There's also usually a crate spawn here. Head down the tunnel and make sure that you bring a light source. Swipe your green card to enter and there should be a crate spawn right next to you. Keep going further along a little bit more and there should be another crate spawn to your right. Enter your second fuse and then swipe your blue card. Inside you'll find a combination of crates as well as a red card on the desk. You can exit out the way you came, or you can go out this door to exit near one of the hangars. The third option is to continue down this corridor here and you'll eventually make it to a mine. There's not too much here other than some nodes, barrels, and some mine crates. One of the tips I have for Airfield is if you go to the main tower, you can jump onto the main building. You do take quite a bit of damage, but it can be useful in certain PvP fights as you can surprise enemies from a new location that they might not expect you to be hiding at. You can also peek through this crack over here. And my next tip is that you can actually shoot through most of the cracks in all of the tower buildings. This is really helpful for when you're trying to sneak up on someone who's camping the top of the tower, or vice versa. If people are creeping into your building, you can shoot them with a surprise angle. And what else is interesting is you can't shoot through some of the outer railings, larger gaps, but you can shoot through the small ones. Next up is Trainyard. Pretty similar loot, except the puzzle is a little bit more difficult and time consuming. The main points of interest are the recycler room, the card building, and the cement tower over here. You'll need 10 rad protection in order to enter the monument, and there's 3 main spots where you'll need 25. Inside of this water tower, in the cement tower, and in the card room. Okay, let's move on to the loot. Starting at this red building, you can see we have a metal food crate, and inside is a refinery and another crate. Over here is another metal food crate, and then if we go into the recycler building, at the top there's a crate spawn right next to the recycler, and just right down below is another crate spawn as well. Moving on to this red building over here, you saw there was a crate outside, and there's a crate on the inside. And there's a crate spawn on the derailed train. There's another food or med crate over here in this red container, and moving on to the large building, you'll see there's a crate on the bottom floor, and if we go up the stairs you can see that there's another crate spawned behind us. In the large cement tower there will be 1 food or med crate. And on the top there will be another crate spawn. Over on this long pipe there's a crate spawn at the edge. If we climb up on the center ladders in this monument, you can see that there's a crate spawn on either one of these overhangs. Over in this train cart there's a crate there, and if you jump down to this part here, you can see that there's a crate in the sewers. At the top of the water tower there's 2 crates, 1 normal and 1 food or med crate. To do the puzzle, flick the switch at the bottom of the recycler building, and then go over to the cement tower and flick that switch also. Once both switches have been flicked on, you can go to the center tower and flick the final switch and enter a fuse. Then go to where you swipe your card, and do note that you don't need to swipe the green card, this is optional and it'll give you 1 crate only. Then swipe your blue card, and on the desk will be a red card, and surrounded by it are lots of crates. Power plant's a little bit of a controversial monument as it has some advantages and some disadvantages. Main advantage is that it's got 3 recyclers and it has a free green card every time you do the puzzle. Main disadvantage is that there's not as many crates in the center and less crates overall. The radiation's a bit weird at power plant. You can actually run around with no radiation protection in a lot of the areas, including the recyclers. However, when you start to loot the taller buildings as well as go underground and do the puzzles, you'll need at least 25% radiation protection, and when you're looting the broken power plant you'll need a rad suit, and even then you'll still get a little bit of radiation. Starting off in this corner here, let's go over the loot spawns. Inside you'll find a refinery and a food or med crate. Moving on to the recycler in the red crate. And then if we go to the power plants, if you climb up the ladder you can get to the top, and there's quite a few crate spawns at the very top. You can do the same for this broken one over here, but you will get more radiation, so bring a rad suit. On the outside there's a med crate or a food crate in this derailed train. And if we go over to this red building over here, there's a manual override in order to get up and get into the refinery room. Nothing inside of here, but if we go on the outside there's also another recycler around here. Moving on to these buildings over here, you can jump up onto this ladder. It's a little bit tricky, but what you want to do is hug the wall, then take 1 step back, and rather than jumping forward, you want to jump stationary and then tap W. Once you get to the top, there should be a regular crate and a medical crate or food crate. If we climb up the stairs to get to the top of this building, there's also a crate spawn right here. Parkour into this little alleyway here and you can go down this corridor. At the very end you can see there's a crate there, so we just have to go up the stairs to get to it. Then you can jump onto this pipe and you'll notice that there's a crate underneath it. This crate's a little bit difficult to get to, but if you hold W whilst falling down here and crouching at the same time, you can actually loot this one whilst hanging on the edge. The easier way to get to this crate is if you go to the broken power plant and then fall down the hole, you can eventually run all the way around and you'll get to the same spot. This building over here also has a crate at the back. And this long pipe over here has a crate. All you have to do is just enter. If you enter this tunnel down here and just turn to your right once you're halfway in, there's a crate spawn over there. Now to do the puzzle, you need to flick this switch over here and then go to the exact opposite corner where we first started. Flick both switches, then activate the timer and make your way to the middle central building. Swipe your green card here and then you want to activate this switch. On the ground floor, once you find this door, you'll be able to get yourself another free green card. There's also a crate spawn right next to it. Make your way up and start collecting all of the crates that you see. And once you get to the top, there'll be another crate spawn as well as a recycler. Enter the fuse and swipe your blue card, and inside it you'll find a crate, and then on the desk will be the red card, and behind it are a lot more crates. The final monument is Dome. Though it doesn't have a recycler, it has access to a lot of crude barrels and it has 2 refineries, making it really easy to get a lot of low grade from this monument. You don't need any rad protection for the ground, but once you start climbing up the middle, you will need 10 rad protection. Running Dome's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. You're just collecting the crates as you go up, and you're pretty much just copying along the route that I'm taking here. There's quite a few different ways that you can actually get to the top of Dome, however this is a pretty standard and simple way that you can try. If you're interested in finding out the absolute most optimal ways up and down, there's heaps of videos out there, and I would encourage that you go check out Dome speedrunning. The only kind of difficult part is over here. There is a jump. You just want to make sure that you're sprinting and then you jump at the last second. Also, there's no momentum, so you can do it from a stationary position if you want. We're intentionally skipping out on one crate with the method I do. This is because once we get to the top, we'll get our 4 guaranteed mill crates and then we'll make our way back down. Do note that there's always 4 military crates at the top and all the other crates will always be brown. Pretty much go back down the way you came up, and then you want to get to this point here where you can see the crate that we missed. What you can actually do is jump through this little hole here and land on top of the crate. Once you loot it, you can slide down the railing and you'll easily be able to get out the way we came in. If you fall down here, it's not a big deal, you can just jump right back up. And that is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this was helpful to you all. And most importantly, I look forward to seeing you in part 3 of the series. Let me know if you have any suggestions for the final episode of this series, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or come join the Discord, as we have a lot of active members who can answer it, maybe even quicker than I can. Like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe to see more. Thank you very much for watching guys, I'll see you in the next one.